All right, welcome back to another episode of Lockdown Sports. I'm here with Arnab. Now, we haven't talked about it because I wanted to avoid the brown boy stereotype of loving cricket, but I could only do it for so long. So I've got Arnab on the show with me, expert pundit Richie Bennard in the making. How are you today, Arnab?
I'm good, thank you, Karam. How are you?
Good, good, not too bad. Now, it's a lot of late nights covering the IPL. A lot of early mornings waking up to talk about it. Now, we'll get straight into it. Today, we want to talk about something that happened maybe a week ago, Kane Williamson's injury. What are your thoughts on it?
It's just such an unfortunate and a freak injury. I mean, the guy is trying to save a six, and to do your ACL like that, I mean, it doesn't happen in cricket because ACL injuries are usually injuries that you see more in football, rugby league, but in cricket, it's a real rarity. And now he's set to basically miss, I think, 12 months of cricket, which will include missing out captaining for New Zealand in the ICC Cricket World Cup. That's in October to November. Um, and I guess there's nothing else to say. It was just, as I'll repeat myself again, it was just such a freak injury and a real unfortunate incident.
Now, we've seen this sort of issue, and we've talked about it before, obviously, how players are not able to really get that load management you used to see back in the day because there are so many tournaments now. And I've seen players that even when they are able to play multiple formats, multiple events, it does really affect their test cricket sort of playing style because everything is so focused towards T20 now. When you think about it that way, Arnab, what does the future look like for these players that are, I guess, in a sense, prioritizing the T20 formats? What does it mean for our game?
I guess the first question is why are they prioritizing the T20 format? For me, if you're not part of the big three, which is India, Australia, England, it's very difficult to financially set yourself up in a sporting career that is already so short in life. You know, the average athlete might have a successful career for about 10 years. So of course, the player is going to chase the money. Williamson, he plays for, he's taken New Zealand cricket to a whole other levels. But at the same time, the money that he's getting is probably nowhere near enough to someone like Virat Kohli, Joe Root, Steve Smith. Like I'll give you an example. Mitchell Starc, he has opted himself out of so many T20 tournaments, and good on him. But this is a guy that earns so much money through Cricket Australia's central contract, so much endorsements. You know, if he misses out on T20 league, it doesn't mean too much to him. But I guess the future, so answering your question, I would say that um, players outside of the big three have to be paid better because the money is definitely there for players to be paid. I wouldn't say the exact same amount as the big three because I don't think that's financially possible. But definitely, they can be the top tier players outside of the big three can definitely be paid more.
Yeah, for me, I the only way I can really see that sort of thing happening where you maybe have some sort of centralized bargaining agreement with all the players from all the countries is if an IPL sort of conglomerate becomes the mainstay of cricket instead of course, your national teams. And I think we might be headed on that track. We talk about it all the time with other sports, heading down that track where it's more freelance sort of work. You're just working as an individual player. There's not so much of a team element these days in the IPL with how often players are moving. It just gets to that feeling of, is this what really the old heads will, I guess, like and still want to be a part of? Because national sport for me, at least with cricket, is definitely the heart of the game. And we talk about how Australia, India, and England, there's still obviously much better pay, but that tipping scale is still there in every country, I'm guessing, Arnold. Obviously, you look at Kane Williamson, one of the top players in the world, nowhere near enough respect financially compared to the other guys. And these are the issues I don't think they'll get solved personally. I don't see too much changing with this, but let's get onto it. Let's talk about the IPL and I guess a few better things in the IPL a couple nights back. Kolkata versus Gujarat. How are we feeling on it?
Oh my god, I'm still in shock. For those that don't know, I support KKR. Last year was definitely not a good year after an incredible comeback in 2021. So look, for 2023, I was just hoping, let's just play a bit of exciting cricket and hopefully, all goes through. Kolkata versus Gujarat, target of, what was it, 205. Didn't start too well, but was fighting back, and I think KKR were in good position with 77 needed of the last 7 overs with two set batters, and I thought, Gujarat's under a little bit of pressure here. And then, Rashid Khan takes the hat trick, and suddenly you go from needing about 11 and over to 14. And then the last two Kolkata needed, I think it was 43, and that became 39 of 8. And I think what people don't talk about is those two boundaries that Rinku Singh hit in the 19th over was so crucial to go from needing 39 of 8 to less than 30 of the last over.
I mean,
And even then,
it went from nearly impossible to nearly impossible because 30 off six, Arnab, 30 off six balls. I don't care what it is, and you saw me post about it yesterday. That's some stick cricket sort of shit. You don't see
yeah,
that every day. And to every guy that was consoling the poor bowler at the end, you're gonna need years of therapy, years of psychologists helping this guy because what he did in that last over in a game where Rashid Khan bowls a hat trick. Do you know how hard it is to lose a game when you bowled a hat trick in T20 cricket? The amount of flow that you just get from that, and you decide to choke like that. Shocking, shocking, shocking cricket.
because what was it? When 28 was needed a 5, I was just thinking, look, Rinku Singh won't win it for like I was never thinking of the win. I was just thinking, just get the losing margin as low as possible because net run rate will come into play in the
Mm,
latter
for
half of the
sure.
tournament. So Rinku Singh is the first six of the last over. I thought, coming to a four is still very difficult, but look, just get the losing margin, within single digits, and KKR should be sweet. Here's another six. I'm thinking now, but when he hit that third six to get it 10 off 2, I was thinking, oh my god, surely not. And then he hits the fourth six, which meant four was required of the last ball. I just knew straight off then, nah, Kokara's got this. And Rinku Singh was not even celebrating a single six that he was hitting. He
He
was
wasn't.
just stone cold calm because he was like, job's not done. And then for that last six, the minute he hit that ball, on the last ball of the over, last ball of the game, I was like, okay, I want this. Because look, he needed just four, and he got so much elevation. I thought, he'll also cover the distance. It'll be at least a boundary, if not a six. He gets a six, and I'm going. And I was just going, like, I'm still in shock. I'm still processing it. But I guess that's the nature of cricket that KKR are going to play because they've got a new coach. Ever since Brendan McCullum left to take the England Test job. So the new coach Chandrakant Pandit is a very well-known coach among Indian domestic cricket circles, and in my opinion, he should be coaching India. But I guess this IPL gig is probably just a testing point for him to see if he can handle an elite league, and then later on possibly coaching India. I think Kolkata have batted brilliantly this whole tournament. The spinners have done okay at times, but I feel like it's the seamers that are letting Kolkata down this tournament so far. And if they can just work on that and just hold their nerve a little bit more, I think Kolkata is in very good stead for the season.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear, obviously, what it's like as a fan, and obviously those changes you don't notice as much, I guess, with the coaching changes, but that's just one of the things you'll get when you are, of course, a supporter of one of these teams. Now, it to me, it is a bit strange that obviously we're looking at IPL gigs now as sort of auditions for a national team coaching spot because of how different the national game is compared to the IPL T20 format. But I think we'll keep it going. Now, what do you think about this whole impact sub thing? Because for me, I haven't gotten my head around it completely, but it's such a game changer, and obviously that's why they want to have it. But I'm just wondering, what does it mean for how I guess we're trying to coach the game at a younger level? Because It's such a you don't hear about this as much, you know?
I think this is just going to go for one season and they'll see how successful it is. I don't think fans like it, and I don't think players like it as well.
Mm,
I think, look, it you know, you do want your players to have the role of an impact player. Basically, just removes the role of an all-rounder, basically nowadays.
exactly.
And I'll use KKR as an example because of the impact player. KKR are using six frontline bowlers when they're bowling, and because of this, someone like Andre Russell is not even bowling.
Mm,
Andre Russell, one of the greatest T20 all-rounders that probably modern day cricket has seen, has not bowled a single ball in IPL 2023. And this is not just like this is not for just KKR. This is going all across other teams, and I'm just going thinking, is there like you cannot have uh, an impact sub and let all rounders flourish at the same time.
yeah, and it takes you back to that sort of like under 13 sort of environment where there is a batting only, bowling only sort of guy. When you try and fit an extra man onto the roster because everyone's just trying to have fun. But when I look at the professional game, the value of an all-rounder is so high. And you've seen it in the past, Shane Watson, lots of big names in the past, but someone who I'm not a big fan of, Cameron Green, one of the reasons why he is so widely rated is because of the potential, because of the upside of having someone that has those all-round facilities, batting, bowling, fielding, whatever it is. He's at least a B plus in all of them at this stage. And you look at something like that in T20 format, and we barely get to see enough of everyone's qualities in a T20 format. Not everyone gets a bat. There's only five bowlers most of the time. And I think you're really reducing the amount of quality each player can put out there when you bring in these impact subs. Anyways, I think we'll wrap up there. Stay tuned for more. That's me and Arnab next week with some more cricket talk.